Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me live. Just getting things set up. Thank you for joining me. Can you tell me in the comments if you were on one of my free masterclasses on the 3 hacks to earning more during the pandemic? So tell me if you were in the masterclass earlier this week. Hello and welcome. I think we have some people joining. Hi there. Can you tell me in the comments if you were on my free masterclass to 3 hacks to earning more during the pandemic? Also, maybe just confirm that you can hear and see me. Hello, can you hear me? Just going to give it a few more minutes for people to join. I'm going to assume that you can hear me. I'm not hearing otherwise. I'm going to assume that you can hear me. I'm not hearing otherwise. I'm going to assume that you Actually, let me put my AirPods in so that we can have a better connection. Let me just reload the page here. Hi there and welcome. This is the live Q&A session for those who attended my free masterclass on the 3 hacks to earning more during the pandemic. If you can hear me okay, can you please um, tell me so in the comments? Hi and welcome. If you can hear me all right, just tell me in the comments. All right. Well, let's get started on this live question and answer session. For those of you who joined me on one of my four master classes on the three hacks to earning more from your Airbnb during the pandemic. So this live session is all about what we talked about in one of those four master classes. In those master classes, I uncovered the three hacks that I've been using to earn a profit from my Airbnb during the pandemic. To briefly sum up what I talked about in the master classes, let me walk you through those three hacks. The first one was where I uncovered the most profitable guests on Airbnb. I walked you through the four types of new guests, as well as showed you how to attract those very guests. Hack number two, well, that was all about hack number two was all about standing out from the competition. I showed you that there are now more hosts than ever on Airbnb. And then we talked about ways that you can make your listing stand out from the competition. It was mainly about hosting stats and rising to the top of search, as well as using pictures to help you along in that journey. The last and final hack, which was hack number three, was all about winning reservations. And in that hack, I showed you about the importance of getting back to guests quickly, entertaining requests and inquiries from guests who are looking for a bit of a deal. I showed you which guests to avoid who are looking for deals. And then we talked all about the importance of taking care of guest needs. Trevor, I'm just pausing to see what the comments are. I can hear you okay. Not used to using YouTube as a medium for communication. Yeah, YouTube lives are a little bit different. Um, so I talk to you via video, and then you can get back to me via the comments on the side. So you're just commenting under the video. They show up to me on real time. The only thing to note is that there is a tiny little delay between when I speak and by the time the feed gets to you, and then by the time the comment gets back to me. You would think that in 2020 we wouldn't have those problems, 2021, I should say, but sadly, that's just how it works. Trevor, were you on one of the master classes? While I'm waiting for your answer, I will keep going in a little bit of a preamble before we get into the live part of the Q&A. So I was just recapping the three hacks, which are the most profitable guests on Airbnb during the pandemic, how to stand out from the competition, and how to win reservations. On the class, I also explained how we can work together. I invited you to join the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. And just to briefly outline what that program is, it consists of 5 video modules with multiple lessons inside each one. Each lesson has its own video as well as a downloadable guide to help you to learn and incorporate the content into your Airbnb business. The first module, it really expands on what we talked about in the masterclass. It goes deeper on what to expect from these new types of guests. It tells you how to attract them, what the ideal types within those four types of guests are. Briefly, those four types of guests are is to host traveling remote workers, healthcare professionals, self-isolating guests, and change of scenery or guests. Let me tell you that about module number two, which is all about the cleaning and sanitization. You'll remember from the masterclass, it's the module that one of my current students, Heather, loves the most inside the program. And it's where I show you a method for cleaning and sanitization that is both efficient and compliant. This module also features a few of my must have checklists to ensure that you will always earn a 5-star rating from your guests for cleaning every single time. Module 3 uncovers how to set up your home with the guest comfort in mind while increasing efficiency as well as lowering the cost of your operation. So it's a great module, especially for those of you who are just starting out. Module 4, well, that is the most comprehensive module because this is where we go very deep into not rising, raising your search ranking on Airbnb. So getting your listing to appear higher on search results and appear more often on the first page of search. There are tons of different settings and things to check inside your listing, many of which you may not even know about because they're sort of hidden away. And so we'll go into there. We'll go into which settings to set, how to set them. It's also the module where I have my signature competition my competition survey pricing analyzer tool. And what that tool does is it allows you to survey your local market so that you can set a price that is in line with the local market, but also doesn't put you in an unprofitable position or not profitable position. Module 5, well, that's the last module, and this is where I show you how to grow your revenue outside of Airbnb. And it's in that module that I cover the common risks and pitfalls that most hosts make. And the result is that they open themselves up to enormous liability and as well for sticky situations with families and with family and friend. Um, so it's important to take some precautions when you accept direct bookings. So those direct bookings are bookings that come in from guests who don't use Airbnb to make the reservation. So I'm just going to pause again. I see we have some more questions. So Trevor says he may have to leave as this is last minute and unexpected. I have a few things going on now. Absolutely, Trevor. I will get back to you. Feel free to jump on and off as you can. I know there was a bit of confusion. I sent an email this morning that said the live was coming up in an hour, and then the live time that I set in the system was for 1 o'clock, so an hour from now. But yes, absolutely. I will. I didn't get to your email this morning, but I will have a look just as soon as we're done here. And yeah, we can totally spend a few minutes on the phone or some emails. Hi, John. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for attending one of my master classes on the 3 hacks to earning more from the pandemic. Uh, on the live so far, I just did a recap of the 3 hacks masterclass. So the first hack being the most profitable guests on Airbnb, the second hack being rising above the competition and standing out to win reservations. The third hack is exactly that, winning reservations, how to do so. And then I was just talking a little bit about the pandemic hosting mastery program. I was telling you about the 5 video modules. Module 1 being the best guest to host during the pandemic. Module 2 being all about cleaning and sanitization. Module 3 is all about setting up your home to increase efficiency, lower costs. Module 4 is about setting up your Airbnb listing correctly inside of Airbnb. And that's where we really focus in on rising in search rankings. And module 5 is about taking things beyond Airbnb and accepting direct bookings. Um, so I was going to tell you, just remind you a little bit about all of the bonuses that I am currently offering with the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. The first one is 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me, a $297 value. The next one is unlimited email support from me. And so you can use the email for more immediate and short, like smaller questions, more on the fly type things for advice with hosting. and that is a $149 value. And then the third bonus, which is lifetime access to the course content. And so that is a $297 value, and you will have access to the course content for as long as you want, really. Excuse me. It's important to note that about 30 to 35% of the content inside the Pandemic Hosting Mastery program is applies outside of the pandemic. These are best practices and things that I use in my hosting business and I've used for years that are helpful. Most of these relate to the listing setup inside Airbnb and rising in search results, because those things have always been important, even before the pandemic. And I want to let you know and just remind you again that you can be on your way to earning more from the pandemic, just like my current students, my co hosts, and myself, for one time payment of $297 or two payments of $174. The two payments of $174, one of them is now, and the other one, and the last one, other one, is in 30 days. So head on over to airbnbuncovered.com/enroll, and that URL is shown on the screen right now. And I want to let you know that if you're joining me live today and you do sign up before we end this live session, I'll extend the 13-page PDF bonus guide to you at no charge. And that bonus guide is all about taking stunning pictures of your home with your smartphone. The guide goes deeper than just taking the pictures. It shows you how to stage your home, then how to actually take the pictures, how to edit them, and then I'll show you a winning formula for uploading your pictures and setting their order on Airbnb. Because let me tell you, order really matters when you're posting your pictures. So head on over to airbnbuncovered.com/enroll, lowercase with two L's, and get your hands on the extra special PDF bonus of how to take stunning pictures with your smartphone. And if you do it before we end the live session today, that will be yours, included in the price of the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. That price again is $297 or two payments of $174. So I'll just take a pause here again and just check in with the comments. I am curious to know if you have any questions or comments about the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. Does it fit for where you are as a host? If not, why not? I'd love to know, because my goal here is to help our Airbnb community to succeed and survive the pandemic. So if what I'm offering isn't making sense to you or it doesn't fit your situation, then please let me know. I'm constantly always working on new content, and I would love to make content that is what people are looking for. I do think the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program does answer that for a lot of people, especially the ones who are thinking about selling or going to a long-term tenant, or even those who are new to hosting. And actually, the ones who are new to hosting will get a huge benefit from this, because there is a lot more to Airbnb than meets the eye. Trust me, you can't have the kind of success that I've had over the last 6 years, 5.5, 6 years, seven figures on Airbnb, as well as over 34, well, nearly 3,400 guests. It would be 3,500 guests or higher had we not had the pandemic. But my guest count is still counting. So check back in here to the comments. I've spoken to quite a few potential students over the last 10 days during the period that I have been doing my live masterclasses. And I can kind of group most of the concerns into one of three categories. And I'll share those with you now. I'm also happy to dig in and answer any questions that you have about the program. I'm curious to know. I'm still looking in the comments, hoping that someone will tell me whether or not the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program works for them, if it meets their immediate needs, if it helps them with the problems that they're currently facing. And so let's see. Trevor has another comment. Thanks for making the time to still be here. He likes a lot of what I'm saying. However, I did go to short-term rentals and still have a bit of renovating to do on the upper upper apartment. I'm working on that right now, so timing is just a bit off. Yes, Trevor, I do remember now. I did quickly read your email this morning. I'm not a great person with names, but once you tell me a story, I never forget a story. Um, yeah, we can definitely look into working together. I know you still have some renovation projects on the go right now, and I will follow up with you for sure. And I appreciate your comment. Thank you. In case others have comments and you're just kind of formulating them in your mind, I'll go over the three common um, feedback or comments that I get from students and tell you why these aren't a huge problem. Um, yeah, Trevor, exactly. So Trevor is saying he doesn't presently have time, and I don't blame you, Trevor. I've done many a renovation project. I would encourage you to sign up regardless for the program because you are still going to need it in May, June when you are launching. Because I don't think the pandemic is going to be over by then. And the reason I think that is because the vaccine rollouts around the world are still like there was another huge delay this morning that they announced. Moderna said it would be cutting by 20 to 25% for shipments to key countries. So that's a huge deal. So yeah, I would sign up now. Then you will get the PDF bonus guide, and we can extend your coaching sessions and one-on-one email to when you're ready to implement everything in the system. So go ahead and do it now, and then you'll have it. And also, to be honest with you, Trevor, while you're making those renovations, I would encourage you to check out module three, which is module two. It's actually three in the system because I have to make module one the introduction. So it's actually module three in the system. Module two, as I've been explaining it to you, how to set up your home for success and how to optimize your setup to reduce your costs, to reduce laundry costs, to reduce the costs of replacing items. So while you're renovating, I think module three would be perfect for you to watch. There's probably maybe like 45 minutes of content in there, maybe less, 30 minutes. Um, and it would all be things for you to bear in mind as you set up your as you finish your renovations and set up your short-term rentals. So curious to know how the pandemic hosting mastery program is sitting with you. Trevor says that he loves the idea. He is on board. It's just timing is wrong. And so we talked about how it's good for Trevor to get in now so he can get the PDF guide. Plus, I'm not exactly sure how much time I will have in the future to re-offer the course. And so I know it's available now. I know how many students I have room for. And if you sign up now, then I will have room for you. I was also just going to talk about some of the three pieces of feedback that I've been getting most often. One of them is that timing is an issue. And so Trevor raises an interesting point of timing because his units aren't ready. And the answer there is that it's important to set up, especially during the renovation phase. In accordance with the recommendations that I have for you so that you can save time and save money later. Um, if you're just simply too busy with everything that's going on, I would argue that I would ask you to think about whether or not you can continue to afford to have your short term rental just sitting there empty. At some point or another, you are going to have to do something to start making money in your short term rental unless you are um, infinitely wealthy, and then you don't care if you're making money. And let me tell you that all of the time that I have put in, like we're talking hundreds of hours to research sanitization and cleaning methods, to do little tests, trials and errors, A/B testing on Airbnb, that has taken months and months. And so I have done all of that for you. I summarize it up and I tell you, I package it and I tell you exactly what is working and what isn't working these days. And so, really, this is a time saving hack for you, especially if you are so busy. Um, I see Trevor has added a couple more comments. Trevor's asking about a 4-pay plan. Yeah, Trevor, we could look at that. It would take a little bit of back end work for me. Um, but yeah, we can definitely look at 4-pay, maybe make them monthly. And that's right. Trevor is saying one of his short term rentals is currently utilized or booked until the end of June, which is fantastic. Which I mean, that's a little bit long, and perhaps you are at a bit lower rate because you went so long. But some money is better than no money during the pandemic, and so I understand why you probably accepted that reservation. Keeps the money coming in, keeps you renovating the other units, and so I potentially might have accepted a similar reservation length. These days, about 60 days is the longest that I've had. Beyond that, I have two worries. One, what's the rate that I have to offer to be competitive on a reservation that's, well, really a tenancy that's longer than 2 months? And often that is just too low. And then the other thing that I worry about is I don't want my short term rentals tied up over the summer. We are likely going to see a bit of a resurgence in the summer from to travel. So people will likely be traveling again this summer, especially in North America. But I don't want to be tied up at a rate that a low rate from January, February, and carry that into the summertime. So good for you, Trevor, for not accepting that reservation over the summer. Uh, Trevor says he was worried about the pandemic would prolong some, seemed like it will. Yeah, and you know what? I think it really is going to keep going into the summer. I think, though, that we'll start to see people who have vaccine in the summer and they'll start to get out more. But we're still going to see travel restrictions, international travel restrictions, especially in Canada for sure, without question. And I think with the new administration in the United States, I think you are likely going to see a more restrictive climate there too, something similar to Canada's and Australia, New Zealand, Greece. I heard this morning. I don't know if it'll be quite as strong as here because in the US, your state governors have a bit more sway, and there's definitely different political climates going on in each state. Um, so yeah. Trevor says to contact him with the 4-pay. I absolutely will. Trevor, thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you need to pop off, feel free. If you want to stick around, I am going to answer questions. I'm going to um, the talk about the common hurdles that people are having to go over in order to join the pandemic hosting mastery program. The first one was time, and the second one that I'm about to get into is all about the additional investment at a time when the Airbnb just isn't making money. So I do hope you'll stick around, but I understand if you can't. So yeah, the sort of the third objection, if you will, or hurdle that people are having to cross is that they're worried about making another investment in their Airbnb. Currently, for many people, their Airbnb, their short-term rental property, is costing them money. And so I get it. I'm a business owner. An entrepreneur. It is hard to invest money into something that is currently losing money. And so I want you to know that this small investment of $274 or two payments of $174, once now the second and last one, 30 days from today, is it. I really think that if you follow, in fact, I know if you follow the program, everything inside the pandemic hosting mastery program, that you will recoup your investment in the first month at average nightly rates. And then for every single month after that, you will be seeing a return on your small investment in the program. So I set the price at a reasonable level because I wanted to make sure that I was actually helping those in our community. I can't give it away free. Just like many of you, I have to earn money as well. I am definitely earning a profit from my Airbnbs, but things aren't. I mean, I was earning a very healthy profit from my Airbnbs pre-pandemic level. And now that I'm hosting fewer guests because my strategy has changed, I do have some time and I do want to help my community. I'm not trying to get rich on this. I mean, if I was, this course would be $1,500. All I'm simply trying to do is just earn a little bit, there are costs involved in doing all of these things, creating the videos, being live, and all the software that goes in it. So I'm just trying to recoup my costs, make a little bit of money. But ultimately, what I'm trying to do is help our Airbnb community to survive. Because I believe so passionately in the sharing economy, the ability for everybody out there who owns property or who has access to property to have a side hustle and to earn money the entrepreneurial way. And so that's what I'm ultimately doing here. So let me quickly just see what other concerns that people have been telling me before they join the pandemic hosting mastery program. Um, the last concern is that people are just worried that it won't work, that perhaps the program doesn't fit their unique situation. Well, to that, I tell you that the large majority of the course is going to apply regardless of your situation. Perhaps you're not going to target the exact four types of guests that I target because it doesn't work in your market. But I can tell you one thing for sure: almost every guest out there is concerned about entering into a space that may not be clean and sanitized. I think you would be hard pressed to find anybody to say that they just don't care, whatever. If it has coronavirus inside of it, I'll get it, and who cares? I don't think you'll see that. Sure, there are people out there that think this is a hoax and whatever. We're not talking about them. Um, that is just a whole other ball of wax. We're not targeting those people, but the average normal guest wants to know that the space has been clean and sanitized. The other thing is that remember a second ago I was talking about lifetime access to the program, and I said that about 35% of the content applies regardless of whether or not there's a pandemic. And that is exactly why it doesn't matter what your exact situation is. The tools and the strategies that I go over in module 4, which is all about optimizing your actual listing setup inside of Airbnb. Those settings, the focus areas, are going to be useful for you for now and into the future. I can't say forever because Airbnb is constantly changing things, and when they change it, I will change it. Um, but a winning setup inside Airbnb is never going to do you wrong. Um, the algorithm, as I explained on the masterclass, the algorithm is always looking to place listings that get booked often, so that have listings that have a high conversion ratio. And so what a conversion ratio means is that so Airbnb is looking to see if when they show your listing, how many people click on it. Once they click on it, how many people go ahead and either request from you or book from you. And the more your listing converts, or i.e. gets bookings, the higher Airbnb is going to show it on the list, because Airbnb is all about making money for itself. And so it's less about your listing, more about them. And so what you're trying to do with your listing setup is create a setup and configure it in a way that will convert more bookings, which will give you a higher search ranking. And there are ways to absolutely do that. It is not a complete guessing game. All right. So I've been talking a lot. Curious to know. First, I see a few more people came on. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. You're kind of midway through the stream, but that's okay. Um, I am I am just giving a recap of my free masterclass that I gave a few times over the last 10 days. I talked about the 3 hacks that I went over. The first hack is all about who are the most profitable guests on Airbnb these days during the pandemic. Who are these profitable guests? Who should you be hosting? Then I went into hack number 2, which is all about rising above your competition and ways to stand out from your competition. We talked briefly, very, very briefly, about the importance of hosting stats and the importance of consistently ranking highly in search. And then finally, hack number 3 was all about winning reservations. So if you know who to target, if you know how to stand apart from them, then hack number 3 is all about closing the deal and securing those reservations. I then briefly talked about my invitation to you to join me inside the Pandemic Hosting Mastery program. That's the opportunity where we can work together. The program includes all kinds of great things to show you and uncover for you how to earn more from your Airbnb during the pandemic. The program includes 5 video modules. Briefly, the video modules are the ideal guests and reservation types. That's module 1. Module 2 is about cleaning and sanitizing without losing your shirt on all kinds of sanitization methods that you just don't need, as well as setting up your Airbnb is in module 3. And so that's where we talk about your operations. We talk about how to set things up so that you can clean and sanitize efficiently, but also to reduce your costs in the long run. Module 4 is the really deep one, and that is where we get into everything about search ranking and what settings to configure properly in your Airbnb listing so that you can rank consistently on the first page of search. Module 5 is all about direct bookings. It's about taking your Airbnb listing, your short-term rental property, and moving it beyond Airbnb to accept direct reservations. A direct reservation is one that comes directly to you without using Airbnb. And trust me, there are some common pitfalls in that game. It's not as easy as it looks. You need a payment provider. You need to have certain contracts in place. And it can really get messy quickly. As someone who way back in the day started doing it, it's just a friend, give me some cash. What I use currently and what I've developed isn't overly burdensome, but it does eliminate, a good 80 to 95% of the risk. And then I talked about the 3 bonuses that are included in the Pandemic Hosting Mastery program. The first bonus being 2 45-minute coaching sessions with me, where you can ask me anything about your Airbnb. You can give me a heads up and say, hey, Matt, I want you to do a detailed audit of my listing. And then I want to talk about the areas where you think that I need to make improvements. I'll absolutely do that. The next and the second bonus is unlimited email support from me. So put an end to trying to get in touch with Airbnb for questions about how things work. I've been doing this for a long time, almost 6 years, 3,400 reservations. I've probably seen 10,000 inquiries and requests, and I do know the Airbnb system inside and out. Of course, I'm not an employee of Airbnb, so I can't help you cancel reservations penalty free or free up some dates in your calendar that have been blocked because of an action or a cancellation that you did. But if you want to know how things work, how to fix a problem software wise or setting wise, then yeah, I'm your guy. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Just like you guys will be placed above the priority with my guests. And but sometimes I am really wrapped up in dealing with guests, and so that's why I say within 24 hours at the absolute most. But if you have an urgent question, pop me an email, and I will do my best to get back to you right away. And then the third and final bonus is lifetime access to all of the course materials, the program materials, the competition pricing survey analyzer, which is what helps you to set your price within the market without losing your shirt. All the checklists, and the checklists are, some of them are COVID related, but some of them aren't. And they are checklists that you should be using regardless. To be honest, I don't think that we're ever going to go back to a time when it's acceptable for some Airbnb hosts to just change the sheets and put new towels out and then not vacuum or clean. Like, I think hosts who aren't diligently preparing their units for their guests I think they're going to fail. And I also think that if you don't have a solid game for taking care of your guests, you're going to lose out, because the Airbnb hosts with the return to travel, the ones who survived, are going to know exactly how to meet their guests' needs, how to adapt to guests, and how to really please them. Because there is a formula there. It's not unique every time. Um, Thank you, Trevor. So Trevor says he has to go. But before he went, he is giving me an endorsement, which I want to thank you for, Trevor. He thinks that he will get tons out of the program, and he thinks that I'll be a good teacher, pleasant. I am happy that you think that. I am a pleasant teacher. I'm patient, and I really do love working with new hosts. Um, it's exciting for me. I've had some good success on Airbnb. I'm now mainly concerned about our community in general, but I've always loved working with hosts, and it's something I've done on the side. Well, almost since the beginning. I think the first consulting client, I'll call it, was, gosh, I think that was in year two. And so, yeah, it's always something I've loved. So thank you so much. I understand you have to go. I will follow up with you this afternoon. And thanks for joining me live. So I had scheduled this session for about 45 minutes, which gives us about 6 minutes left before I call this live Q&A to an end. I want to remind you that I decided to extend the extra special bonus from the free masterclass. So that extra special bonus was a 13-page PDF guide to taking stunning pictures of your Airbnb, of your home, and then showing you really how to set up and stage your home, how to take the pictures, how to edit them, and then how to add them to Airbnb in a order and in a manner that makes the most of all the hard work you've done taking those pictures. So that PDF guide is yours if you sign up for the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program, if you join me inside. And if you do that in the next 5 minutes before we end this live session. So, in the little bit of the time that we have left, I'd be curious to know if you are excited about the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. Are you excited to earn more from your Airbnb, to start earning a profit from it instead of just taking money out of the bank? Instead, you'll get to start putting money into the bank. If you're on the fence about joining me, then please put it in the comments. Tell me what is on your mind. If you really aren't a good fit, if this isn't a great time for you, then I'll just tell you. I do not want anybody in the program taking up a space from someone else who isn't committed or in the right place. I mean, if you told me that, I'm trying to think of something that wouldn't work right now. If you tell me that you are Airbnb a large event type venue, so you've got a few cottages and a huge place for hosting weddings or something like that, then it's probably not a great fit for you, this program. But if you are in a position where you're losing money month over month from your short term rental, if you're thinking about selling it or moving to a long term tenant, or if you're brand new to hosting, this program will help you to earn more from your Airbnb. It will start to put some of your worries and stresses behind you. So, the clock seems to keep ticking. I keep talking, the clock keeps ticking. I would love to hear from you. Just jump over into the comments um, and tell me what you're thinking about with joining me inside the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. I see a few of you are there. I wish I could see the names of the viewers. Sadly, I can't, because I'm curious to know if you're people that I've spoken to before. If you're my mom loves to join these sessions. We can't see each other right now because of the pandemic. She lives far away, and so sometimes she pops in and doesn't say anything. And I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and I said, "Mom, you can just say hi." She's just excited to see me, to see my face, because again, it's been over a year since we've seen each other, so which is hard. The pandemic is hard on everybody. I do see. I'm just going to take a look here. I do see. I do see that I have one person who signed up while we were live, and so that one person is going to get the free PDF guide to taking stunning pictures with their smartphone, as well as joining me inside the Pandemic Hosting Mastery program. They're going to get the two 45-minute one-on-one coaching sessions with me, the unlimited email support from me, as well as lifetime access to the program. And so I can't see who it is because I have my phone set to do not disturb mode. But all it says is I have one new student. So I'm excited for that. If you're still on the fence, I hope that you will join the one new student along with me. And if so, head on over to airbnbuncovered.com/enroll. And actually, if I think about it, that's actually two students from this live session, because Trevor said he would join as well. Trevor and I, because of his timelines, we are going to work out a four payment system. So if that's of interest to you, then send me an email at matt@airbnbuncovered.com, matt@airbnbuncovered.com, and we can work out some payment arrangements as well. Because again, the goal here is to help the community, to help you earn more money. I need to earn a little bit of money while I'm doing this because I need to pay for the hard costs involved in creating this program, the web hosting, the video, and also I would like to make a little bit of money for myself too. Um, my face is turning red. It's always embarrassing to admit that. But that's what we're all here for. We are all entrepreneurs. All right. Well, it is 12:45. So if you are on the fence about joining the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program, please send me an email. Perhaps you couldn't get the comments to work. Email me at matt@airbnbuncovered.com and we will talk. I would love to see you inside the program. So thank you again for joining. Um, and I hope to stay in touch with you regardless of whether or not you join the Pandemic Hosting Mastery Program. Thank you, and bye, everybody.